Hey, what's up, besties? I'm coming to you fresh-faced. I look a little crazy. I just got off of work. I didn't have time to film my morning discussion because I've been so busy with work, but that's okay. I've committed to this bit, so I have to do it, right? So I wrote down some ideas that I can do for this, and one of the ideas was centered around religion and God. And I want to preface this by saying, if you believe in religion, if you believe in a God, I'm not trying to offend you, change your mind, or anything. These are more or less about me talking to a camera, formulating my own opinions. So it's kind of like if I was having a conversation with someone, and maybe I'll have some realizations throughout my discussion. So there's my preface of this. I respect and love everyone based on their decisions and their beliefs. I'm an adult, you know. Something that I've noticed is a lot of people, especially I moved to the South from Pennsylvania, there's a lot of religious, God-fearing people. And being from Appalachia, I agree, like up north there is a lot of God-fearing people, but it gets even more in the South. And I've noticed myself struggling recently, as I mentioned, mid-20s situation, with whether or not there is a God. Okay? I find myself being moved, right, and telling people, God bless you, God pray for you, because I'm in the South. But I don't always feel a background to that, if that makes sense. And a while ago, I'm like a big Rhett and Link fan. I watched a lot of their videos about deconstructing Christianity, and I totally resonated with what they were saying, and it has led me further down the rabbit hole of I don't know anymore. There's a good period where I was agnostic, especially during childhood, because I was kicked out. Not kicked out, I was asked to leave my church classes / kind of shut down by my church teacher. My parents are not crazy religious. I had asked them to go to church class, and my parents were just like, all right. My parents are not very religious, they didn't force it on me. And then I'm in the class, and I noticed I was constantly being shut down. They would be like, here's an example, dogs have no souls. I'd be like, how is that true? Can you explain how? Why? And I was like a why, how child. I think that's what made me go into the STEM realm with my life and my career. But it's not good when you're a child to a teacher to be asking those questions to them in their brain. To my teacher, I was being the annoying kid, the why, how kid. To myself, I was doing things, questioning, which is something that is important, and it's something that should happen. So I think a lot of the questions that I had asked, the teacher was not used to being asked, and saying the quiet part out loud, and I think that bothered the teacher. So I got asked to leave or whatever. The tone of the people at the church was kind of like, we were going to miss you and we want you to come back. And this is just from what I remember, but it was a tone of, but don't ask so much questions, or don't be annoying. And that was a tone of my childhood with a lot of authority figures, not my parents, but teachers throughout my life. There was a tone with history teachers and with the church, other people in the church, where it's don't be annoying by asking so many questions. And that didn't sit right with my little brain that's very expressive and wants to know everything. So it was at that point I realized, now I'm anti this, which is dumb. That's not the right way to go about it, young Cass. But if you think about it, if you're being told you're annoying, shut up, your little self is going to try to rebel. So I was kind of no, now I don't believe in God. And so in my teens, I started to face depression and stuff. That's a whole other story. But in that mindset of sadness, I was like, maybe there is a God. Like, I had a life-changing moment. I don't know why I'm like doing a little voice for myself, but I can picture my 17-year-old self being like, maybe there is a God. Like, I'm having a life-changing moment. And I started listening to like Flyleaf, and I got into like Christianity. It was like a good 2 months, and then I messed around with paganism. Like, I was like, I'm gonna be a Wiccan. I was following this YouTuber, Harmony Nice, and I was like, I'm gonna be a Wiccan. And I had so many phases. I was like, I'm a Satanist for like a week or a day. And to me, religion was like a trend. And I know that's gonna sound terrible, but it was at the time. It was like whatever I think looks cool as a teen. So before then, as a child, it was like, why, how? I don't know. And then middle school, high school, it was like, whatever's cool, I want to do. And then college, it was like, I don't have time to think about that. I really don't. I'm busy. Okay, I could think about that after college. So I just reluctantly left that sector of my life empty. And so now, post-grad, it has led to some discourse in my brain where I'm like, I gotta figure this out. And I don't know. And I think I was going to try. I'm a very logical person, and this is a big issue in my life. I logically explain my feelings. How do I say? There's a word for it. Intellectualize my feelings. Like, I don't allow myself to feel them. I just say and explain them, and I'm like, I feel sad, but I ignore it. I'll go have 5 cups of coffee. I'll go start reading a book. I will do everything else but to sit with my own feelings and sit with myself. Horrible coping mechanisms. And I think I did that with religion. And I'm starting to get to a point where I was trying to buy Bibles. Like 2 weeks ago, I was going to buy all different kinds. Like, there's like a specter of different Christian Bibles. I was going to buy all of them and figure out which one I resonated with. But then my brain said, what if you don't believe in Christianity? So then I started taking quizzes, and I'm like, I'm tapped into the mainframe. I'm like, beep, boop, 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 boop. I'm like taking all these quizzes, and I'm like trying to figure. I've noticed I need a label on everything to be able to conceptualize it. So I'm like, and I'm asking my friends, and I'm chatting, and I'm having deep conversations with my boyfriend, and I'm like, but like, what is the universe? And like, what do we like? If you can't feel God, you can measure air with a barometer, but you can't measure God. And what doesn't help is that so many people are turning to Christianity in religious psychosis. Not diagnosing them, but there is a few people on my timeline where people are saying they have religious psychosis. I'm not these people, I'm just quoting. And I'm always like, okay, I don't feel the way they feel, so like, am I not a Christian if I don't do all the things they're doing? Am I a true Christian? Like, I'm coming up with these arbitrary rules. All of that to say, I feel like I resonate with the core tenets of like a Christianity or like a Abrahamic religion. Like, do not harm people, be kind to others, love others, treat people with basic human respect. Like, I feel like that is my MO. That is who I am as a person. It's something I always tell people. I'll be like, be kind. When people are being like a little rude in public or something, I'll be like, be kind. I'm known for that. But do I believe this book that could have been man-made? I know people believe, and I know there's history behind it, but do I believe it? I really don't know. And it's not something that I feel. Like, when I'm in church, I don't feel jazzed up, like excited. Like, people always want to go to church and be like, yeah, let's go. Or like, at least I grew up Catholic, cradle Catholic, so it's like more or less like I want to kneel, I want to stand up, I want to kneel, I want to stand up, I want to do this, I want to do that. I don't feel that, like the want to do it. I also don't feel the want to do, confirmation, baptism, any of that. I have been baptized, but I don't feel the need to do like any of the things for marriage that I feel like religious individuals want to do. So that leaves me with, what if there is a God? What if there isn't? I don't know. I think it's like a Pascal's wager. Is that what it is? I think that's what it is. Or like a damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of situation. I know there's something out there. Like, I manifest for others. I always do like manifestation. I believe a little bit in the spirituality. I guess I should say I'm spiritual. I believe in energy, but I don't believe in organized religion. Am I just solving my own problems in this? Like, I'm telling myself what I do believe, at the same time questioning it. And I think that's a big thing about me and about people in this media era of our lives, is you can believe something, right? You can believe the sky is blue. But if everyone on your Facebook and everyone on your TV is going, the sky's pink, the sky's pink, the sky's pink, if you're a little bit like me, I'm usually stuck in my ways. You might start to go, is the sky pink? Like, why is everyone saying that? I'm still gonna believe the sky's blue, but I'm gonna be like, what is going on, guys? And I think that's what's happening. I think a lot of people are moving to Christianity, especially, I respect it, but I've noticed it gives a home to individuals. I've noticed a lot of people telling me when I speak with them about, they're like, I feel a purpose, I feel called, I feel loved. And I'm like, I love that for you. I want that feeling, but I'm not feeling it. Like, is something wrong with me? I don't know. But in my opinion, if there is a God, if there's like a person up there, I feel like he wouldn't make me feel this way or confused. I feel like he would, or he or she, because God could be a woman, would find purpose in my life. And what's funny is I listen to a lot of worship music. Like, I listen to Tyler Childers, some of his songs about worship. I listen to Flyleaf, and I listen to these things and I go, this is beautiful, this is amazing. And I respect it for the art and for what it is, and for the religious individuals. Like, I'm respecting it in a perception of this is beautiful for that community, but I don't feel the message. And for those of you who feel similar, I want to say, like, we are who we are. Some of us in society do not need a religion or a call to action to make us serve core moral tenets, such as no harming, being kind to others. These core values that we feel, sometimes you don't need an organized religion or something to tell you that, for you to resonate with their notions and their like principles. But I feel like I'm rambling. I want to say I love you guys. I will probably have one or two more of these conversations centered around either spirituality or religion. As disclaimed before, I'm in no means trying to change your mind. This is all about my mind, what's going on in my brain. And I do like to get opinions. If you are a Christian, you know what I always tell people who are Christian? I say, pray for me. Pray for me. Like, if I do find God or even, I have people I know who are Muslim, and they're like, I'll pray for you. Whatever you are, pray for me, because I would love to find religion and find what I believe, but I don't feel a connection. You can't force connection there. It's like if my favorite color is pink and you're telling me you're gonna like blue, I'll be like, hey, manifest that I'll like blue for me. But at this time, I don't. And a lot of people respect that. There's some kind people out there that I've talked to. It's just like this kind of conversation where it's like, do you have a moment for me to tell you about our Lord and Savior? And I'm like, yeah, I do. By the end of it, I'm like, it doesn't hit with me. And so I find myself loving having those conversations because it like opens my brain, but I'm looking at it logically. And that could also be an issue. So I love you guys so much. Bye.